Hi everyone, welcome to Shawshaw Crochet. Let's talk about my May makes. Hi everyone, welcome back. How are you today? I hope you're all doing well. Throughout the month of May, we've had some people come over from Glenda, a creative grandma, and from Terry Penny, the happy crafty homemaker. And just recently, we've also had some people come over from Sandy at Crochet Canada. So welcome to anyone who's new. And I always love interacting with you all in the comments. So if you ever have anything you'd like to reach out to me about, please don't hesitate. All right, let's talk about crochet. We can pick up from where we left off last time. There was a lot of cotton going on and there still has been some more. First of all, if anyone's interested in a little quick Father's Day, I'm calling this my golf bag caddy. And there is one other one that I made in the middle of the month and I showed for my brother's birthday. And this one will be for my dad for Father's Day. So this is just made out of a gray handicrafter cotton, a light gray. The towel or cloth is at the back, and there is a drawstring just holding it on, and it has a D-ring to be able to clip to the side of the golf bag. And in the golf bag itself, I have a bunch of tees, and then I made these little holders for the front of the bag, and I explained that a little bit more last time, so I won't do it again if you want to go back and have a look. And inside are the rest of the tees and some practice golf balls. And yeah, so hopefully that would be very useful because it attaches right to the bag, like I said, but it's also completely washable. So they can just take the things out and throw it in the washing machine. The D-rings are stainless steel, so no trouble going in the machine. Anyway, there's a little bit more information on this in my previous video to this one, but essentially it's just a little cotton bag that I made some holders for the tees to show what it is in the front. And I was able to get a little picture, so hopefully this will match well with my dad's golf bag. Happy Father's Day! So I had shown a few cloths the last time and there's a couple more. This is just some more handicrafter. Most of the cotton I use is a Bernat handicrafter because I can get that easily here in Canada. So this washcloth starts with a row of half double crochet and then it's all double crochets ending with another row of half double and then just a single crochet border all the way around. And then this one, I was able to use up the last little bit of the Red Heart Scrubby Smooth I had in this colorway that I had made the market bag out of. And I'll pop a big picture here. And I used the Mary Maxim Scrub, which one is which? Mary Maxim Scrub It, I believe is theirs. It's a ribbon yarn with a little bit of scrubby in it. It's not nearly as harsh as some of the other scrubbies, but it still gives you that extra texture. So there's that. And then I made a bunch of just little individual scrubbies just in the round. This was just using up little remnants and scraps. And most of them are just magic circle with a round of single crochet and then doubles on a regular increase. And then I just did some variations to the edging. Some of them are just single chain single, and then this one actually had done like a little puff stitch in the center. So with these, you just play around however you like. Yeah, so some scrubbies as well. And one last little thing, I made another little dust mitt. A friend of mine got a new trailer at the end of last season. So I'm going to put together a little package of soap and cloths and cleaning things for her new place, her new getaway spot. Okay, so let's talk about cowls and mals. First of all, we have to talk about my May strip for the Mighty Mile a Minute blanket I'm doing for the year-long crochet along with Jada and Stitches and everybody from there. And also how I'm getting my colors is by using the colors from the calendar cowl that Setta's doing this year. Setta at Setta's place. And here she is. This one lives in my Stitch Fest bag because that makes me happy. And because it has enough room for all the yarn and the project. So I will pop up a picture of the May calendar. And I can't believe we actually have 5 months done now, but here she is. So over here is January, February, March, April, and May. And so I'll go on both sides just so you can see. I had some green variegated yarn, Mary Maxim, I think it's called Maximum Value, and it was just a scrap, but I held it double with Summer Nights in one of those kind of peachy, bluey colorways to give a little bit more blue. And yeah, so that's going to represent May for me. I was kind of finding the pictures are a little similar to me, so I wanted to go ahead and pull out some of the colors and kind of plan it out a little bit, but it's definitely coming along. And the joining color I'm using is just more of that Loops and Threads Endless Impeccable that I had got from Spin Right last year. So excited to see June. I have the calendar already, so I know the colors, but I am excited to see what the strip will be this coming Friday. So back in the bag she goes. And the big Mal make along that was going on for May was Carrie Penny's Spookier Spring Mal, which ends today, I believe, which today is Monday, May the 31st. So I will pop up some pictures and video either now or at the end of the podcast. I had a kit from Hirschner's that I got with my first Hirschner's order, and I'll just show you that. And I think I can show the front because it's not the patterns on the inside. So this is how it came. It's a shawl pattern, and it was called Halloween Shawl. So this was my inspiration, and this is where the majority of the yarn came from. But what came in the kit was the black sparkle, which is actually branded a Halloween yarn, and the green and the orange, sorry. So the black, the solid black, the black sparkle, the orange and the green came in the kit. I added purple and teal because those are kind of more me colors, and I felt like as a fall / Halloween shawl, wink, I would get more use out of it that way. So the construction of the shawl is just corner to corner. And then there's this lovely border that they include in the pattern, which I haven't tried yet because my shawl turned into a poncho. So once I did my pattern, because obviously I had to decide what my repeats were going to be. So I started at the back with just a bunch of, let me see if I find the back, just a bunch of the sparkle at the very bottom. And then I did 2 rows of a color, 1 row of solid black. So 2 rows orange, 1 row black, 2 rows teal, 1 row black, 2 rows purple, 1 row black, 2 rows green, and then 3 rows of the sparkle to bring the sparkle back in. So that became my pattern. And so I had to decide how many repeats. And it was like a decent sized shawl, leaving out the last repeat, but I just decided to keep going. So once I did, then I had to decide for sure, am I going to join this? So that's what I did. So what I did for the join is I just decided I liked the look of how I was doing some like mesh chaining here. So all I did was I picked up my first edging and I single crocheted into it, chained across, single crochet, and came back. Just kept going back and forth across like that. And then when I got to a certain point, I was able to bring in the very last little bit of the sparkle yarn I had, so it stays sparkly up top, and then add these little ties. And so you'll see how it looks on. The neck actually pops up nicely. And then the other thing I wanted to say about it was, in terms of corner to corner, how I've been finishing my triangle shawls lately is by just reducing the number of double crochets I put into it. And it really does straighten out your edge without having to fuss too much about it. So next time you're playing around with corner to corner, you might just want to give it a try. So for the first straightening row, instead of putting a chain 3 and 3 double crochets, I'll put a chain 3 and 2 double crochets. And for the second row of it, I'll just do a chain 3 and 1 double crochet. And it just really evens it out, but it also gives you a little place to work into if you want. And so that's what I did all the way around to smooth her out. And then I did the little drawstring action as well. Very happy with this. It was really fun to do something Halloween-y, fall inspired this time of year. And I don't think I would have gotten around to using this kit if it wasn't for Carrie Penny's make along. So thank you, friend. And like I said, there'll be a little video somewhere, you may have already seen it, of me modeling it for you. So I do have the little ball bands here. The yarn was just okay for me. I really liked the sparkle yarn, but what sparkle yarn do I not like? So we have Oh, these are all the small ones. I think they go by worsted 3 for the smaller balls and then worsted 8 for the larger balls, and the larger balls are just more yarn of the same type. It kind of has like a woolly look to it. It's a little muted in its color, these yarns. So just Hirschner's worsted yarn 3. And like I said, some of the bigger ones, I don't know where it disappeared onto me. I don't know where it disappeared to, but they were actually marked Halloween. So that was kind of interesting. So with that shawl, I was able to use up all the yarn that came in the kit with the exception of this much black and the rest of the orange. The orange was the only one that came in a large one except for the sparkle. So I'm happy to always have extra pumpkin colored orange on hand because I love doing actual pumpkins with that color at Halloween, and different varieties and different styles of pumpkins, from bags to stuffed ones, etc. So happy to have that, a little bit left over of that. And I thought that was pretty good use of the yarn. And like I said, the purple and the teal were just scraps, so those are completely gone. So that's great. So that was fun. I probably would never have done something like that if I didn't have that kit, and I still have the pattern so that I can try and make use of that actual border on something else. So those were the make along / crochet along projects that I got to in the month of May. And that's good because I can check another make along off my goals for 2021. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so let's talk about a couple more shawls. This one you've seen before, a couple months back probably, when I was working on those head bandanas. I had finished up my skinny cake with a C2C, just a triangle scarf size C2C, and it just felt like it needed a little something. So I got inspired by Rosie from Nona's Stitching Lounge's last video where she was showing a knitted top that's absolutely gorgeous in her Glam Stripes yarn from Patents, and I had some of that around, and I thought, you know what, this color will really complement the edging for this. So I just used her up. And with the Glam Stripes, it does go way sparkly in certain sections, but there's a smidge of sparkle through it all. And just did a little simple border all the way around. So now that's good to go. Just as a triangle scarf. It's not really shawl big enough. So that can go in the make ahead stash. So I'll pop up a picture here of some yarn, and another one of my motivations to use either single skeins or single cakes up. I had one cake of this baby mandala that Debbie had gifted me last year, and I wanted to make something with it because I love purples. So I color controlled this to a certain extent, and I took some ice yarn, this glitter, it was just like a sail yarn, it didn't have a specific name, but it's black and silver sparkle, and it had a lot of sparkle going on. And so I just did these little black sparkle rows in between, and all I did for those is some half double crochets. So this is just a regular granny style triangle shawl. And I did it so it would have lots of give, which I like to do a chain 5 at the beginning to act as a treble and a chain 1 space, so that I can work my first set of grannies right into that space each time, and then end with a chain 1 treble just to give it stretch, because otherwise this part at the top here can get a little tight. And what I did for my rows in between is I just went back over it and half double crocheted. So it's meant to just have like an extra aesthetic. There's no real extra stitches there. So when you come back and go in again, you have to just find what the middle stitch would be and work into that middle stitch, because it's not an actual hole when you're coming back. It was very easy. I like how it turned out. I figured out an edging I liked, which is just a 5 double crochet shell with chains in between. And the thing I like about the idea of this is to keep the sparkle yarn really simple, because it's just the stitches are just going to disappear into it anyway, and yeah, and just show off the purples. So there was a section of white that I did not use for this, but it will go into something else, and it can come under like this and be all cowled up and pretty. And let me just see if I can get it on a different way for you. Layering crochet. Warm. I like pulling them up in the back. and giving yourself like a little neck cowl. And if they're long enough, which this would be for a kid but not for me, I like pulling it way up in the back and then wrapping it around twice. And I do that with my mesh shawl all the time. Anyway, love it. Love it. So lacy. Hasn't even been thrown in the dryer yet to relax the stitches, but that was fun. And that was only about 3 days on and off. So there's the full colorway of the mandala baby. And specs, just quickly because I have it in my hand, 150 grams, which is 540 meters, size 3. Interesting, I was playing around with a couple of other mandalas I have, and there was purple in them, and I thought about maybe making it bigger. They aren't the same thickness, so I just left it at how it was, even though the stats are exactly the same. Compare those two yarns together, they're not the same. So it was very interesting to see. Now I kind of wish I had weighed both of those cakes when they were full. And speaking of weighing yarn, now's as good a time as any to talk about the Cake Pop blanket because it is done now. So my Cake Pop Take 2. Here's Cake Pop Take 1. Last year I made this Cake Pop blanket, which is made with Bernat pops, and there was no color controlling in it, but it was made back and forth. So every time I got to the end of a row, I changed direction. So you actually do get a little bit more pooling, and you don't get to spread your color around the square as much as you would if you just kept going. But I committed to that early on, and that's how that one turned out. And my girlfriend has it and loves it, and it's even been extended with extra border since it was first picked up. And another girlfriend liked that one so much she wanted one for her niece. So that's how this all started in terms of Cake Pop Take 2. So back to the weighing yarn. So my my trim yarn, so every square got a single crochet in this Impeccable Big in Arran, colorway Arran, and these are 396 grams, which is 784 meters, size 4. And I was able to weigh it, so I know exactly how much I have left. And I will put that at the bottom of the screen because I did write it down, but it's in my phone, and you're on my phone right now. But yeah, it was neat to see because now I know how far this goes in terms of a double-ish, it's healthy double blanket, right? So yeah, I will pop up the pictures throughout this portion here, and I'll also have some video of the blanket fully done at the end. But she's still here. I didn't think she would be. She lives in this bag here, which was extremely handy to have while I was making it. And I have some more yarn stuff in here I can tell you about, but I'll just pull it out for a sec. She is going to her new home tomorrow. And here she is. Just show you the front and the back of this folded section because I'm not going to unfold it all. But yeah, so this ended up being 10 Bernat pops and a bunch of Red Heart Comfort in this pink color, a very little bit of Red Heart Comfort in some turquoise I had left over because I thought it would go nicely. That might be it right there. And then yellow. So the yellow that you see, the true yellow, is another one of those Mary Maxim maximum values. And those two yarns go really well with Bernat Pop in terms of their richness and fullness and texture. The Red Heart Comfort is actually much harsher working it up, but then once you put it in the dryer, it's beautiful. So here are my ball bands. Aside from the one I showed you, there's 10 of these. So 10 full cakes. And I can go quickly over the colorways, which will probably be in the description box as well. Paradise Lost, Foggy Notion, Radical Botanical, and we have Hot Chocolate, Blue Streak, I think there's one more, Purple Morning, and that should be the ones that I used for this. So 2 of most. I know, for example, Hot Chocolate's only in there once. And I was able to use almost all the scraps, like all the scraps, because of how I did the centers and worked the squares themselves. So there is a tiny, tiny amount of yarn in here to go into my magic ball. Very tiny, so that was awesome. And part of what allowed me to do that and use so much of those cakes fully, because this one is color controlled, which I guess I implied without saying out loud. This one is very color controlled compared to the first one. What allowed me to do this was having those turquoise and pink and yellow to blend in as well. So it worked out really well, and hopefully the new owner slash gift recipient will be very happy with it. I do still have a bunch of Bernat pops left, and because I've gone through so many of them, and because we were on staycation last week, my hubby was very generous to let me replenish my stash as a gift from him, along with a couple other things. So I placed a little order with Yarn Canada that we'll be getting here shortly, so I'll be able to show you that in the middle of June. Still on my hiatus, but gifts don't count, so he was generous to do that for me. There were some really good deals on Yarn Canada that I think I found out. Should I blame Debbie for this? It might not have been Debbie, but in Crystal's live where Crystal was blaming Debbie for getting her to go order from Lens Mills, someone else mentioned Yarn Canada, and they did have some really good sales. I typically find their prices kind of high, but I will talk more about that in the middle of June when I can show you the yarn rather than give it all away now. All right, what else do we have? I was asked for a freeform mandala, just like the one I made, and I'll pop up a picture here because that has already left. And they're just really fun to make. Sometimes you have to play around a little more than you'd like, but that's because I am not making sure that I do a solid stitch count each time. I'm doing what looks nice to my eye, and you can get away with playing with little things here and there, but ultimately you do have to keep it a circle, right? You don't want it wavy, or you don't want it pulling. So the last few rounds can be a little bit difficult when you do it that way, but the end result you can't get away from. And I was asking people for an idea of what to do with this yarn. So I'll pop up a picture of the yarn here. This was a gift from Crystal at Ricola's Crochet Corner. And I should say that anybody that you hear me mention, even if I don't say their name and channel name all at once, whoever they are will be always listed in the description box of these videos. So Crystal gifted me a cake of Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton in the colorway Sprinkles on Top. So there's the ball band. And you know us Canadians, if we ever get to work with Hobby Lobby yarn, we get very excited about these things, especially the cotton. I just love the cotton so much. So I did another set inspired by my current mandala fetish, but I'm doing this for Pride. So I wanted to have like a set for June, for the month of June, that's Pride inspired. It's not true rainbow, these colors, but they'll do. And this is the mandala. I'll get that close. I have pictures of it. It'll show nicer in the pictures because this is very drapey yarn, so it's not going to stay solid for me to hold it up for you. So I have that one for the top of our Lazy Susan. And then I tried to use every little bit of the yarn. So the next part was actually these were difficult. These, I don't mind doing ends, but these had a lot of ends. So I made little rainbows, trying to use up all the yarn. So there's 1, 2, I think there's 5 of these. And I tried to put little clouds on the bottom, just freehanding it myself. Again, the pictures will do better than me showing you here. And then the last little bit went into this. So this will sit somewhere else on the table and be able to put something else on top of it. Just really pretty. So thank you, Crystal, for that yarn. And I'm looking forward to changing my table over tomorrow for June 1st and celebrating Pride with these and everybody else who's celebrating. I have one more mandala that I just played with. This one may not be done yet because it is curling a bit, but this is different yarn. This is the last little bit of some Cambridge Fibers cotton I got last year that I thought I had none of, and then I found some hiding in my car kit. But I really like the center, and I don't mind the little ripple it's doing, but initially I was trying to do something for outside for my front door, and it's not going to cut it for that, so we'll see what actually happens with this, but I did use up the rest of the yarn, so there's that. I swatched up some of the Echo Waves Multi that Crystal gifted me because I wanted to see what it would do because it says hand wash, lay flat to dry. So I just did a little swatch and then threw it in the washer and the dryer in a laundry bag. And I mean, it kind of has pilled a little bit and my gosh, it is so soft now though. So I think what I might try doing is hat and scarf sets with this and hold it double. But yeah, it's super soft, and then maybe if it's held double, it'll hold up a little bit better to the laundry. But yeah, so that's a little swatch of that yarn in case anybody has some. That has cotton in it, which I find very interesting. So because I was also curious, I don't often work very much with just regular cairn cakes because they have wool in them and I shy away from wool. But I did have this set and it's been around a while, so I thought, you know what, it's still here. Let me do the full wash and dry. So this has now been completely laundered, so drapey, and it survived just fine. Normal wash and dry in a laundry bag, but with regular clothes. I typically do the no zippers, no buttons rule, but other than that, that was cool. So I'm not exactly sure. I should check, it's right here. Because of the wool, I kind of always assumed. Yeah, it does say hand wash on here. I can see the hand before. Yeah, hand wash, lay flat to dry. So that's what it says on this cairn cake I have. But this is proof that it's fine in the washer and dryer. So just a little info for you. And last but not least, I made a new top. And there will be video, like I said, somewhere in here. Either now or later. This is made with Caron Ripple Cakes, and this took 1 and a bit. I still have, I would say probably more than half. I should weigh that so I know. I don't know what I did with it, but I kept it on purpose. What I like to do when I make things for myself is I like to get them to a point where I'm happy with them, and then kind of wear them and feel like, is the strap wide enough? Is the top high enough? Do I like the back? And with the first two tank tops I made, I will link the videos where I talk about them in the description box of this video, but they're basically just granny stitch in the round. And I wanted to do something similar. So the way I increase to get the top to fit me well is I just change my hook size. So this was actually started with a little trick I have to thank Kristen Omdahl for, which is her foundation ovals. So here they all are. Okay, and then from the foundation ovals, I worked double crochet. I think I did around a half double first actually, and then double crochet, and I just kept trying it on, and when I needed to, I increased my hook size. So this started with a 6.5 millimeter hook and it ended with a 9 millimeter hook, and at a certain point I just switched to V-stitches, and then in the V-stitches I did some extra V-stitches which also gave me increases, and a shell row at the very bottom. Shell row for shell. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It still may get a little tweaking with the straps. It depends. I want to be able to comfortably wear it as a tank top without having to wear anything underneath it. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I like to do. And I keep yarn around for projects I've made like this to make sure that I don't do anything with it until I'm 100% sure it's done. So that was happy. I was very happy to have that done. So if you'd like any more information on this top, just leave me a comment below and I'd be happy to fill you in. And yeah, now there's 3 of them. So you'll see a little video with me demonstrating the 3 tops I've made over the 3 springs of 2019, 2020, and now 2021. I am wearing my Poncho capelet. Karina Anna had done a tutorial for this, and Petra had actually updated the tutorial for us ladies who like things a little larger. I had extended this because I wanted to put like little slits in the sides and be able to get my arms to pop through where I wanted, but just have a little few extra inches, and that's part of the video I'm showing as well. I will model it more thoroughly than just sitting here, but that's what I'm wearing in case anybody's curious. And I think we're done. So that wraps up the month of May. I also have a little bit of video for you of our most recent trip down to the lake. It is way different now that it is spring and moving into summer. So there's a little bit of that for you at the end of the video. And mostly I would just like to say thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a great day. Happy crochet. We'll see you soon. Bye. A little update on my little marina photos from when we were going from winter to spring here. Now we're about to go from spring to summer. Just gonna slow it down a smidge so a lady can pass and I don't have to have her in my video. She might not like that. Anyway, the boats are all in and there are some activity on them. And there's some activity down the way where Chris is investigating some loud noises we were hearing from the birds. A bunch of geese, some ducks. Haven't seen any swans yet, but they'll be around. Anyway, just a beautiful day. Staycation in May for Shell and Shin. Looks like we're getting in formation here. Not so sure if they're going to take off or they're just practicing. Hey everyone. So, cake, pop, granny square blanket. Take 2 is done. Here's the very top set of squares. I'll go around the other side too. And there she is in all her glory. So I'm going to talk about the yarns and everything in the video, but just taking a little video of the finished product because I know it's not going to be here when I tape the video at the end of May. Today is Sunday, May 21st.